You're watching This Week in Louisiana Politics with Fred Childers.
Good Sunday morning. I'm Shannon Heck. Thanks for joining us for This Week in Louisiana Politics on your local election headquarters. The Louisiana House of Representatives advanced a budget that is a big change from what the governor proposed. The main changes will do away with the teacher pay raises and not replace federal dollars for early childhood education. I caught up with the legislators during their lengthy debate over the changes. Take a look. One of the challenges for this year's budget is that there is a lot of federal COVID relief money that's not going to be there. And while the governor has asked state funds to replace some of that lost federal money, House Republicans want to limit that growth. The big debate of the session is how to spend the surplus funds. The governor and some in the Senate suggest busting the constitutional spending cap to make one-time major investments. In the House, Republicans are against breaching the cap and want to direct funds into the retirement debt.
You're trying to get your house in order, your fiscal house in order. The first thing you do is pay off debt.
Under the new plan, the teacher pay raises are cuts. But leadership says that local school boards will get some savings from paying down some of the teacher retirement debt. Some fear it will not be as much as the governor's proposed raise, and there is no promise that the money will be used for raises by the locals.
The teachers are very concerned what is the priority of the local school board. So we're going to go ahead and instead of directly funding their teacher pay raise, we're going to fund down the retirement in hopes that the superintendents are going to give a pay raise.
There are also reductions to early childhood education. Due to federal COVID-19 money no longer flowing from Washington, the governor proposed to backfill that loss with state money, but this plan would not add those extra funds. On the Senate side, there's already been a resolution passed to bust that spending cap, so there could be some more changes on the way for this budget. At the Capitol for your local election headquarters, I'm Shannon Hecht. In a block support, House Democrats all voted against HB 1, the state's operating budget. They were unhappy with the cutting of teacher pay raises and reducing investments in early childhood education. After the chamber adjourned, they held a press conference to talk about the message they are sending over to the Senate, where they hope to see the budget heavily changed.
We believe that that money could have been better placed in the hands of teachers, and we need to remember something. When we're talking about these teachers, we're talking about schools. In many of these areas, those are the major employers in those areas. And those teachers help the economy in those areas.
Several Democrats tried to bring amendments to the budget, but they were all voted down by the Republican supermajority. Louisiana legislators joined the national debate on if transgender minors should have access to gender-affirming care. The bill by Representative Gabe Furman looks to ban access to gender-affirming care for minors, but advocates against the bill say that that decision should be left up to the parents and doctors. The bill would punish doctors who provide gender-affirming care, which includes hormone treatments and gender reassignment surgery to minors. State Representative Gabe Furman made claims that people are against the bill because it makes them a profit.
The gender industry can only survive by promoting this idea.
Parents of transgender kids talked about how it is already a years-long process to get access to hormones, and surgery in most cases is off the table for kids. They shared stories of how after they received care, their kids were happier and able to live fuller lives.
Trans youth are some of the most vulnerable kids in this world, and so I'm really trying to do my part to keep them alive.
Doctors shared at length about the statistics of suicide rates in the transgender youth population and how it ties to lack of support and acceptance.
If the bill passes, there won't be any help, and instead more young people will be left in the cold, or they'll do what 5 families told me they were doing last week, which is leaving.
Furman claimed that the suicide rates are fabricated.
We can't trust mental health professionals to do the right thing.
14 legislators voted to advance the bill, and a bipartisan 3 voted against it. After over 5 hours of testimony, the bill now advances to the full House, where the supermajority Republican members will get a chance to debate. But this issue proved to be bipartisan, with multiple Democrats voting for the bill as well. A bill failed this week that would have protected the LGBTQ community against workplace discrimination. HB 40 would have added protections for gender identity and sexual orientation in the workplace and hiring methods. There are laws already in place that ban discrimination when it comes to race, sex, or religion. While there is legal precedent under the Civil Rights Act, this bill would codify protections into state law.
How are members of the LGBTQ community expected to live up to their fullest potential without gainful and meaningful employment?
A number of people got up to speak about how their outward appearance as being gay or transgender has led some employers to disqualify them for jobs. Those against the bill claimed it would be forcing businesses to hire certain people. The bill failed with a 7-5 vote and is finished for the session. In response to the bill failing, Congressman Troy Carter said in a statement, quote, 30 years ago, I sponsored a signature piece of legislation to prohibit the discrimination of our LGBTQ plus neighbors and friends in the workplace. No one should be denied employment because of who they love, and I am proud of my dear sister, Representative Delisha Boyd, for taking up the mantle and sponsoring HB 40 today. I'm disappointed that the state legislature failed to advance this critically important legislation. Our work is not done. I will continue to fight for every Louisianian to truly be equal at home, at school, at work, and everywhere else, end quote. And one of the controversial bills looking to force libraries to limit children's access to some books was pushed back to committee to hear all that debate again. The debate was cut short last week with Senator Bonnie White wanting the meeting to wrap up early. People opposing the bill did not get a chance to share their testimony, and this week they did get that chance. The bill did still pass out of committee with only one senator voting against it. It will now get a full hearing on the Senate floor. A bill has advanced in the legislature today that would allow the courts to hold foreign states accountable for bringing the fentanyl into the state. The bill is being brought in memory of a 21-year-old woman who was killed after taking drugs that were laced with fentanyl. And the bill by Representative John Stefanski would allow for people to sue foreign states for civil damages after someone dies. It would also put the burden of proof on where the pill came from on that foreign country.
The intent really is to hold those who are bringing illicit and illegal fentanyl to our country, and it's pretty well documented actually where it's coming from. It's coming across our southern border, and it's being delivered to those countries through China.
Now, some lawmakers are concerned over how these court cases will actually play out. However, the bill still advanced to the full House without objection. And State Representative Edmund Jordan is bringing a renewed push to take slavery out of the Constitution. Last year, the bill passed and made it onto the ballot, but Jordan was not happy with the language. He hopes it won't be amended off again this year, and he was joined by a national agency that is working to get slavery out of state constitutions across the state. After the break, we give you a look into the debate over if LSU should get more money to fix the PMAC or the library.